So my name's Annette Van Roden and I'm the director of Dark Voyager, which is a play written by John Misto. The reason I picked the play is because there's no way I could go past doing a show about Joan Crawford, Bette Davis, Marilyn Monroe and Hedda Hopper. Hedda's not as well known as the other three, but just four such strong, iconic women and the opportunity to tell their story. I'm approaching this completely differently to anything that I've done before. Having to portray such iconic women on stage is a huge task, and the girls that are the actresses need to embody their personas but also own the character for themselves, which is a really big task. I'd really like the audience to see how hard it was for these women at that time. I mean, you know, it's easy to say Me Too movement, and you look at a lot of the Hollywood actresses now are still talking about the way they're being treated. And this is basically nearly 100 years later. You're talking about Joan Crawford was a star in the 1920s. And there's still so much of that goes on. These women had to fight really bloody hard for what they got. And they had to create themselves. And I hope that the audience walks away with a sense of their strength, their vulnerability, and what it would have been like to be them at that time. I think the play is very relevant for today. I mean, we think that so much has changed and there's more equality, and yes, there is. But doing the research and looking at what these women had to endure, and still looking at what women in Hollywood, but just women in general, have to go through, I can't believe how little has actually changed. So for the audition process, I made it very clear to the auditionees that I expected them to come prepared, and I wanted to see that they understood the character that they were auditioning for.
Dark Voyager is a fast-paced, funny story about the 60s in Hollywood. It's a challenge to be someone that everybody knows, and I don't know whether I achieve it, but it's nice to push yourself beyond just creating a character, but creating a character that everybody knows and making them real. So it's not just mimicking, it's about making the character real. She was a people's actor. She really connected with all of her people, and living up to that reputation I think is really, really hard. And also the relationships that people perceived that she had with Bette Davis. Their feud was really famous. So it's about how do we recreate that on stage and meet everybody's needs.